What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit and I am back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action spawning in the top of the map, or should I say the left of the map, in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Player. His opponent today in the blue color playing his set is I Am Joe. This is a best of 5 in the group stages that get to dictate who goes on and competes for the grand prize in this Shelty hosted tournament. It's currently 2-1 for Player, and if he comes out on top, he gets the maximum amount of points. And I think you might get a point for like every win or something. I can't remember how it worked, but in any case, winning the most games is very, very important. So we'll see what comes out here, who wins this one. Joe, if he loses this one, will not get to play Player again. If Player wins this one, he will win the series. So we'll see what happens. The map is Frozen Wastes. I believe this is another salty runback game. This last game was on Frozen Wastes, so we're playing the same map yet again. Set versus Zeus on this map is also very interesting. Player played a really, really nice game. Last game, managing to hold on from that early aggression and then convert that into his own advantages, utilizing his army in very intelligent ways. So let's see what he does come up with now. We also see some of this scouting here from Player is a little bit interesting. He's checking out the back ice. Maybe this is simply just to find these goats. You can see that there are a bunch of goat spawns that are on the ice. So that could be definitely a option there. You can probably think about this map as a reverse Ghost Lake. Maybe even that's how they did the code. They just decided to flip where the ice spawns and then leave the rest of the code there. I'm not 100% sure. That does look like there are walrus, and walrus are definitely not on Ghost Lake, so maybe that added in as well. But we'll see. I don't really know. Someone can correct me in the comments, I am sure, as to how this map functions. We've also got some pretty interesting gold mine placements here. We do have the double gold mine here, so this is really good for Joe. Means he doesn't have to leave the base very early, but it's also good for the same reason with Player. I'm always confused when I see top players grab their back medium gold mine first. It's better to grab this gold mine first, but I guess this one isn't really defended by forest, so maybe players actually made that decision in the fact that this Frozen Wastes map means that Joe could swing around here and then hit this gold mine that he's trying to gather later in the game. Whereas this gold mine where he would be swinging around, it would be more difficult because he can just chuck a building here. And then it will be very difficult to get in onto it. So maybe a smart decision there. Who knows? Temple coming up here for Player as well, trying to make this gold mine even more protected. We're also seeing him move out onto these caribou here. That's going to be nice for him to pick up. Joe, on the other hand, has got his 10 villagers on food and 2 villagers on gold. 2 villagers building this temple yet again. He loves doing that double villager temple shenanigans here. And he's going to have to fix up all these houses around here, and we'll see what he does do. Looks like he's taking villagers off the gold mine here. I'm very, very confused about what's happening here. Maybe these villagers will make their way over onto this gold mine, and that's kind of going to be like a little bit of a trade there, a little bit less walking time or something. We do see that these villagers do decide to leave that caribou as soon as he hits the classical age. Jumps into his town center, move over here. He's going to get that 330 advance time that he loves. What's this relic? It is the 10% Cavalry and Chariot Archer bonus, which is huge for Set. It's also really big for Zeus as well, so it's a big win that he got there for him. He can actually jump this one off, and then I was going to say you could empower the mining camp from this side, but he likes it on this side for whatever reason. These villages also need to be fixed up. They're being a little bit inefficient, but what can you do? Got some more villagers doing all the other stuff over here. Let's check out Player. He's not advanced just yet. Well, yes, he has. Hermes is coming through. Looks like it's going to be a 5-minute advance time. He does prefer these later advance times. Zeus definitely can advance fast and have a lot going for him. There's some 415, 420 builds, some 430 builds that are very, very potent for Zeus. But we're seeing that later build, and also going through Hermes does make me feel like Player wants to go for that second town center very, very early. You can see he's already got 5 villagers on gold, 6 villagers on wood. And he's going to be getting there fairly soon. If we check in over here, we've got the vision going down. Let's check out Joe. What can he see? He can see the villagers over here. These villagers are definitely out of position right here. And he could shift onto them and potentially kill every single one of them. This is definitely going to be 3 very easily killed villagers here. We see the bolt coming down onto that pharaoh immediately, and then we're trying to see these villagers not getting away. It does look like only 2 villagers are going to fall here for player. That's actually a really nice use of bolt there in order to save that villager, because this villager definitely would have been killed had that pharaoh still been alive. So trading the bolt for 1 extra villager there. I think potentially when the vision comes down, you can just move your villagers into like just like maybe ring the town bell or something, and that way you save all of them, and then it could be a way to go there. We're also seeing the villagers of player moving away from this location here as well. We see Jason coming out. Player has hit that classical age. He's getting Odysseus out as well, and that's going to force Joe back. We're seeing a barracks up for Joe as well. He's got the gold income coming in, checking out those resources. He's not building that town center just yet. Looking like he wants to get some spearmen out before he goes for the second town center. We're also seeing Jason chase around this Wadget here. If he can get onto the Wadget, that's going to be huge. We're also seeing the priest grabbing some of these walrus in the middle of the map. More villagers over here. We do see the centaur running up to the top side. Not going to see any caribou getting gathered over there just yet. We do see the spearman is in here already. Now, these animals are all going to get picked off very, very fast by the Jason and the Odysseus. Potentially, Jason going to be taking a little bit of damage there, but nothing that he can't bear. Also going to see a bunch of what Joe's got getting killed pretty much for free here. This damage that they're doing, definitely not worth the trade. You do see 100 food, 50 gold here for 2 spearmen already killed and a bunch of animals. This is not going very well for Joe at all. We're also going to see a priest die. All of these heroes are doing so much work right now. Another walrus gets converted here. Now the spearmen also going to get picked off as well. Joe still not quite there on that goal. Going to be moving up to this granary here. And we do see that the stable's up, and we see the Tech and Town Center is getting built as well for player. So he's going to be getting a little bit further ahead at this point. We're seeing the walrus having to run back at this point. More spearmen getting built here, but only from 1 barracks. Looks like he can't really afford to build from more than that at this point, which is actually really risky, simply because if he's going to stay on 1 barracks, he's gonna get under a lot of pressure as soon as the stables start pumping out those Hippocon and the Toxote. So we'll see what happens there. But the villagers are going to get caught out here from this centaur, but definitely not going to be able to pick these villagers off just yet. We do see the priest is already onto that centaur, going to force him to run away. A little bit of a nick here from that spearman, but that's going to be completely sorted out there. And we do see that the Odysseus picking off another priest right here. That's absolutely huge. Every single one of those priests down is 100 gold, which would otherwise be well spent killing off those centaur. We do see more of these spearmen are out there ready to start raiding at this point. The centaur needs to get back to base, but this is some really nice micro here from Joe, and player not microing that centaur at all, gets pathing abused to the core, and a priest does pick him off. So that's a free centaur kill there for Joe, which is really nice considering how much he's lost already. We're also seeing Joe coming in right now. I'm going to be trying to pick off these food villages, but they do have a really easy route back to that town center, which they're going to do. And they also do get to dump off all their food by doing this. So it's not exactly the worst, but it's not exactly the best either. So we'll see what he does do here. Should potentially start picking up some farms. Need some more wood, especially to get those archery ranges coming out. And we still don't see a second town center from Joe just yet. Still pumping out those spearmen. I do like this. We could potentially see a semi-fast heroic or mythic if this is the option that Joe goes for. You can just max out on the spearmen. We do see that the houses have been forgotten here from Joe. Generally speaking, you build up all your houses straight away, and it does look like he only built up 5 of them before forgetting to build up the next 5. So he's a little bit behind on that, which is not good. Never want to be population blocking. You do see that Joe's resources are starting to accumulate right now when you don't want that to be happening. I was going to say you can do this really, really strong spearman, full spearman build with set, where you go for about full population of spearmen. You try not to lose them, and you can get to the mythic age 12 minutes, 13 minutes into the game, and it's incredibly potent. I haven't seen Titans players do it all too much, but we're seeing Joe go for this town center at this point. We do see that player is he's actually sniffed this one out, and he's going to be moving in. However, the priests have distracted him, and that's going to force him to follow those guys instead of getting onto the town center. And the town center will come up now for Joe at the 9-minute 15-second mark, which does give player a big advantage on those villagers at this point. So he's going to be feeling really, really good about this at this point here. We are seeing the spearmen yet again walking around the map looking for something, but there's really nothing to hit now for player. If we check out player's economy, he's got 15 villagers on the wood, 9 villagers on the gold, 10 villagers on that food. So it's not really enough to be spamming from 2 town centers and also spamming these military units, but it's a good amount of resources now just to be starting to put that pressure on. Don't want to get caught out too badly. These spearmen are chilling up here, not going to be doing all that much. Joe finally getting up a second barracks. You can see this one barracks spamming those spearmen really doesn't do all that much, and getting that second barracks up is going to feel very, very good. But it's, again, going to be very difficult for him to be spamming those units if he doesn't get more up. But it does look like he's aiming to go straight to the heroic gauge at this point, even though he did build that barracks, which is a little bit odd. He would probably have the resources to advance at this point if he didn't spend that gold on the barracks. He hasn't got the armory up just yet, so a little bit inefficient at this point. Generally speaking, it's a decent idea to just get one villager to build your armory up as soon as you hit the classical age. It is like less resources you gather at the start, but it's means you have the armory up, and you can get armory upgrades if you need or anything else. We do see a nice raid onto these laborers from player yet again, forcing Joe back into his base. That's got to feel good as well. We do see that Joe is trying to find something to raid with these spearmen. He can finally start moving on to these villagers here. Maybe he can pick off a couple of villagers with these spearmen. We do see that player is significantly out of position. However, player way on top of this sees the spearmen from that line of sight. Check out the line of sight right here. Does see those spearmen, and it's going to be totally fine there. And here we go, more villagers dumping those resources into the storehouse. I'm going to continue here, see what he can find. Does look like the spearmen do find this gold mine, and that's going to be really, really good. Going to force these villagers back and going to be able to pick off a bunch of these ones. However, players already over here and maybe not even pick off more than one. That's actually not what you want to see. Felt like he could have picked off like 3 or 4 villagers there, but unfortunately did not get them all. And we do see that player is on to Joe's villagers yet again, actually going to trade those villager deaths by picking those ones off. We do see more houses coming up for Joe right now. If we check out Joe's perspective, is he advancing to the heroic age? Yes, he's going through Nephthys, so that's gonna be good for him. He's going to be able to catch up just a little bit. We do see some technologies are coming in right now. Joe does have his pickaxe, does have his husbandry, and he should be in a fairly decent place economically. However, player on the other hand has got pickaxe, hand axe, and he's got some good stuff going for him. He's actually aiming for that 130 population, could potentially grab this third town center, and continue that boom. We are seeing Mid-Dog Stronghold now coming up for Joe. It doesn't really secure a gold mine, but that's not that important at this point. Going to be bashing away at this gold mine, can definitely come over here onto this gold mine when he so chooses, but we'll see what happens there. We are seeing this Scorpion Man is going to be running away at this point, not going to be doing all too much. More spearmen over here, just running around at this point. Looks like player's taking a little bit of a breather. He's got his army in some interesting positions, actually in 3 separate groups, controlling quite a bit of the map, giving himself a lot of line of sight. So also got this Toxite over here doing that good scouting shenanigans. This goat could probably come back to his base, though. He's building farms, so that's an extra 300 food he could potentially have in herdables, which he's not going to have. Anyways, it's not the biggest deal. We are going to be seeing some of these Toxite trying to pick off some of the spearmen, and actually does manage to do so, which is a little bit odd considering he was in the Migdol. Not sure how that works, but that's okay. The player's trying to move in here at this point, trying to pick off as many of these spearmen as he possibly can. It does look like Joe's doing some pretty nifty garrison micro here. When these Toxite shoot their arrows, if you can garrison the army in as they shoot, then the Toxite actually do no damage but it does look like Joe is able to defend here. However, the big story right now is that Joe is just getting player is getting so far ahead on the economy. He's almost in the heroic age. All we got to do is drop some of these villages into there, and he's going to be going through Apollo. He's got a choice always. Not only that, this gold mine is going to be expiring fairly soon, maybe even by the time Apollo is up. Probably not, maybe give it another minute or so. And he can do some sort of crazy attack onto that with Underworld. We do see some nice little, what do you call that when you surround armies? Nice surround-ish, almost. Nice, like, back attack. Some of these Toxicity need to get further inside this so they can pick off more units. Focusing down a War Elephant is not what you want to be doing with those. War Elephant has 40% pierce armor. Want to be picking down off those Spearmen and the Chariot Archers as best as you possibly can. However, player is keeping Joe down at this point. Joe not close to the next stage. He is producing some more War Elephants, so he's going to be trying to move forward. We do see that Joe's also looking like he wants to grab onto this town center, potentially going to use Ancestors in order to grab that one. However, Village is going to be retreating at this point, and he's not happy taking this fight just yet. Potentially Ancestors would not be enough, but we do see the villagers are going to be running forward at this point, going to be grabbing this town center up for himself, and now he can cast Ceasefire when Ancestors goes down completely comfortably without any terrifying presence of that. And we are going to be seeing yet again these Hippocon going to be trying to distract the army fire of the Chariot Archers. The Chariot Archers simply just need to be targeting down the Toxicity though, while the War Elephant defend them, especially with that Migdol Stronghold fire doing so much damage. We do see the Elephant is onto this town center at this point, and Joe is going to be, these villagers need to get back into the right position here, but that's not happening at this point. We do see more and more of these units are going to be targeting stuff. Pharaoh is going to go down as well, and it does look like this is going fairly well for player at this point, pushing in here, trying to pick off all of the units. However, Joe decides to tap out. GG. Seems like a little bit of an early tap out there. That's a bit sad. Player played it really well though. He didn't really lose anything. Joe's playstyle is very much in the line of, if I can deal damage to my opponent and get further ahead, I'm going to be super far ahead. I feel like he just didn't do that damage. Getting those Spearmen out early, losing so many of them to the Odysseus Jason was huge. And it did allow player to just capitalize in this game, but I do feel like Joe had a little bit left in him here. It does look like the heavy Hippocon are out though, and that can be really difficult to deal with Town Senate coming up. And as Egyptian against Zeus, if you fall this far behind, it's really hard to win a game. So I can see him like foreseeing himself getting into a situation later in the game where he can't win, which is why he wants to stop playing. But you need to force your opponent to do that one, I reckon. Anyways, if you enjoyed this game, please rate, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you enjoy my content and want to see it as soon as it comes out, my name is Boit, and I will see you guys next time.